And then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
I invite you to pray. O God, who has blessed all of us with the very air we breathe and the very lives we lead, we gather tonight to conduct the sacred task of self-governance. We thank you for our city, for its diverse and creative population, for those who live and work here, and for those who serve as our elected representatives. May we be a place that when others visit, they find you here and know that you are honored as our sovereign. We ask that we conduct our business this evening, that we would be kept from the arrogance that excludes those who are different from us, or those who we do not like, or those who we do not understand. Rather, O God, grant us civil tongues, open minds and ears, and a passion to understand those who voice opinions different from ours. Grant to those who deliberate, and to those who inform, and to those who come to speak, wisdom and justice rooted in your mercy and your law. Grant that as we easily pledge ourselves to a nation with liberty and justice for all, that our thoughts and actions may truly match our high-minded words. May we ever place ourselves under your authority and seek to serve you as we serve the cause of liberty and justice for all persons. This we ask from the deepest part of our being, of the only one who can grant it. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you very much. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Mr. Burford? Here. Mr. Protagiru?
Here.
Mr. Riddick?
Here.
Mr. Smeagol?
Here.
Dr. Whibley?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Wynn?
Here.
Mr. Frame?
Here, the motion is to dispense with the reading of the minutes for, April 26th and May 3rd?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protagiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smeagol?
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Frame?
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Norfolk City Council chambers. We're glad to have you here. For your benefit, the process that we will follow tonight, the first thing we're going to do is take up the public hearings. There are 4 of them on tonight's agenda. At the conclusion of the public hearings, we'll move directly to the consent agenda. There are 6 items there, but we may vote on all of them in just one vote. At the conclusion of that, we'll move to the regular agenda. There are 8 items there. Again, we'll vote on all of these matters in just the way they are numbered on the printed docket. At the conclusion of the regular agenda, if any member of the public would like to address the City Council on a non-agenda item, and that's anything that's not on the printed docket, really, you'll be given that opportunity. In order to have your name called, all you have to do is sign a slip of paper, which the clerk has made available in the lobby behind the council chambers before the meeting began. Before we move to the formal agenda, we do have a couple ceremonial matters, and the first matter is for Foster Care Month. And is Maddie here, Maddie Satterfield? Maddie, would you come to the podium? And I'm glad to, let me read this and I'll present it to you. And if you'd like to say a few words, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.
The proclamation reads, and you've got some folks with you as well.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay. Whereas the family serving as the primary source of love, identity, self-esteem, and support is the very foundation of our communities and our Commonwealth. And whereas in the city of Norfolk there are 263 children and youth in foster care being provided with a safe, secure, and stable home along with the compassion and nurture of a foster family. Whereas all young people in foster care need a meaningful connection to a caring adult who becomes a supportive and lasting presence in their lives. Whereas foster, kinship, and adoptive families who open their homes and hearts and support children whose families are in crisis play a vital role in helping children and families heal and reconnect, thereby launching young people into successful adulthood. And whereas dedicated foster families frequently adopt foster children, resulting in a greater need for more foster families. And whereas we thank the numerous individuals, public and private organizations who work to increase public awareness of the needs of children in and leaving foster care, as well as the enduring and valuable contribution of foster parents and those working in the public foster care system. Now, therefore, I, Paul Frame, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby proclaim May 2011 as Foster Care Month in the city of Norfolk, and urge all citizens to come forward and do something positive that will help change a lifetime for children and youth in foster care. And Maddie, let me give this to you. Weren't you just down here the other day?
Yes, she was.
Oh, you're back again. Good for you. Good. Nice to see you, Maddie. Thank you for coming back. And thank you all for coming down, really.
Yeah, and I want to thank the foster parents as well for coming because we have with us Mr. and Mrs. James Parson and Mr. Brown and Miss Bennett. And they have two of their little ones with them who are in the foster care system. And we have approximately about 6,000 children in foster care in the Commonwealth. And May gives us an opportunity to just bring some highlight to this area and to ask people to please become foster parents and adoptive parents because we need you. Children need you. And so Mr. James Parson just want to say a few words
Be glad to hear.
of gratitude.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Giving honor to my Lord and Savior. I've been a foster parent for about 6 years, and it's been a pleasure having the children and watching them grow and sending them back home, or as we've done here with one, making my own. We invite those who don't know the gift of helping a child to give a hand.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming down. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. Okay, Lynn, come on up here. All right, we now have Lynn Underwood to receive the proclamation for Building Safety Month, and you've got some other folks who will come with you.
Yes, I hope so.
Others. Okay.
All right.
Got the chief with you? Okay. Okay. Whereas the City of Norfolk's fire, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and building safety professionals continuously put forth efforts to address critical issues of building and fire safety, accessibility, energy, efficiency, water, conservation, and sustainability in the built environment that affects our citizens both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster, and gives us confidence that our structures are safe and sound, whereas our confidence is achieved through the devotion of building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical officials, fire marshals, and their inspectors who work year-round to ensure the safe construction and operation of buildings. Whereas these dedicated public servants continue to participate in the development and implement of not only national model codes, but Virginia codes as well, to protect our citizens in the buildings where we live, learn, work, worship, and play. Whereas the international codes, the most widely adopted building safety, energy, and fire prevention codes in the nation, are used by the Commonwealth. These modern building codes also include safeguards to protect the public from natural disasters such as hurricanes and snowstorms, tornadoes, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown guardians of public safety, our local building and fire code officials, who assure us of safe, efficient, and livable buildings. Whereas the region's building officials are partnering with the Independence Center in Norfolk to raise awareness of the critical role building codes bring to building accessibility. Now, therefore, I, Paul Frame, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2011 as Building Safety Month in the City of Norfolk, and encourage our citizens to join with their communities in participation in Building Safety Month activities. Given under my hand this 10th day of May 2011. Lynn, you probably wrote that, didn't you? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Would you like to, Chief, anybody, Frank, anybody want to say anything? We're glad to know the Independence Center is a part of this as well. It's very important to us.
Real briefly, as I've said in years past, building safety crosses many lines, including fire prevention, planning, neighborhood quality, public works, utilities. We do many, all across the different departments of the city is building safety. We all essentially work together to make that happen. But this year we're doing something slightly different. We're trying to raise the awareness of another aspect of our codes that we do every day that not a lot of people know about, and that is accessibility. Chapter 11 in the IBC deals with accessibility for new structures, remodeling work, and in some cases existing structures. So what we're doing to raise awareness is we're cooperating with the Independence Center to have a building official in each region, in each jurisdiction in this region, to shadow someone in a wheelchair or someone who is visually impaired for a day, and that's 2 weeks from today. And the idea behind that is to raise awareness for not only us in terms of the things that we do, but at the same time raise awareness of the public for what it is that we do. So wanted to announce that and thank the mayor and council for this honor. Also like to invite Steve Johnson if he'd like to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd just like to thank Mr. Underwood and the city for making access for people with disabilities a priority. And we are very happy to cooperate in this project as we have in others in the past. And we're looking forward to doing this and maybe even doing it on an annual basis. We'd be more than happy to be involved. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for coming down tonight, Steve. Okay, Chief, you want to add anything? You got to, Jeff?
Well, thank you, Sue. Just simply to express appreciation for the acknowledgement for the very hard work of the men and women in the Fire Marshal's office. They put in numerous hours, and the heart of it all is just simply to try to help the city to be a safer place to live, work, and play.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, that concludes the ceremonial portion of tonight's agenda. We'll move directly to public hearing 1, please.
Public hearing 1 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on April 5, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of Sentara Norfolk General Hospital for a change of conditions to the existing conditional campus institutional district on property located at 835 Redgate Avenue, and by a 3-to-1 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Okay, there are about 7 folks who have signed up to address the council on this matter. When I call your name, please, if you'll come to the podium, identify yourself for the record by giving us your full name and your present home address, and then we would like you to limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Mr. Tisdale, would you like to start? Warren Tisdale.
Good evening, members of council. My name is Warren Tisdale. My home address is 611 East Mowbray Court in Norfolk. I'm with Wilcox and Savage, and I represent Sentara Norfolk General. With me today is Bill Hofer, who's the Vice President of Operations for Sentara Norfolk General, and he'll also have a couple of words to say. I'm going to try to focus, take just a couple of minutes and talk about the zoning issue. Bill has kind of pulled the laboring oar in terms of the application and working with the community, so he's going to have some more detail on that. In terms of context, for the history, the northern part of the block of which this parcel is a part was rezoned in 1990 from R5 to C2 conditional, with the condition being that it be used as a daycare operation and nothing else. The southern half of the block was rezoned in 1988, also from R5 to conditional C2, and that was to accommodate the parking garage that is there now. That zoning was effective in May of 1988. The zoning, which we're coming to ask for the change of condition on today, was affected in 1990. So I just want to stress that we're talking about two different zoning events. And again, in terms of clarification, in 1992, the city, in a comprehensive fashion, went back and changed all of the C2 zoning to campus institutional to fit the nature of what goes on there with the hospital and the medical services. And so now the property is IN2 conditional. The hospital agreed to the condition that it be a daycare back in 1990 and entered into an agreement with CHKD, and there was a 20-year lease to operate it. I think CHKD, of course, is a premier children's hospital. They did a good job operating it, but it's a tough model to meet in terms of keeping the quality of care up, in terms of the financial model. After 19 years, they decided that they didn't want to continue to be involved with it, and essentially, with 1 year left in the lease, gave it back to the hospital. The hospital has identified user or users who are interested in using that particular property as administrative offices. Now, we're coming to you not 1 year after we put the condition on it for daycare, not 5 years, not 10, not 15, but it's been 21 years since the daycare condition was put on. And with the change in circumstances and the tight campus conditions there in the area, and the people who are interested in using it for another purpose, we thought it appropriate to bring it back to you. To my knowledge, the commitment to operate that property or have it operated as a daycare center related to whatever was effective in the zoning ordinance itself and creating its own little zoning ordinance for the property. The land use issue, simply put, is does it make sense to allow administrative offices on this site? And I stress the word administrative as opposed to medical. These are not medical offices where patients will be coming in for, coming on site and going off site for medical appointments. These are strictly administrative offices. And I submit that administrative offices will have far less of an impact on the neighborhood than even the daycare did, with respect to things like hours of operation, traffic, parking, noise, and pedestrian activity. Fortunately, you don't have to look for, you don't have to speculate about what kind of use this would be in the neighborhood and how it would be compatible, because CHKD's office right to the east of this property has been there for a number of years with no compatibility problems.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you. Joe McHenry.
Mr. Mayor, would it be okay if Bill Hofer is set up to speak?
I'm going to bring him right up, just right after Joan. Okay.
Good evening, Council. I'm Joan McHenry, 523 Fairfax Avenue, and I'm here on behalf of the Ghent Neighborhood League. We all heard just weeks ago about the city's new policy of neighbors building neighborhoods, and this issue presents one of the first, if not the first, opportunity for City Council to uphold this vision and demonstrate its commitment to neighborhoods and to this policy. This site is in the Ghent neighborhood. The Ghent Neighborhood League is opposed to this request, and this opposition was unanimous at our neighborhood meeting. As such, we would ask council members to support our neighborhood and deny this request. Just 20 years ago, when historic homes still stood there, Centerra came to city leaders and the community with the request to tear down the homes and rezone that area as part of a planned expansion and the then proposed Raleigh Avenue parking garage. This was not the first encroachment into our neighborhood by the hospital, and the idea of losing the residential zoning and having a multi-story parking garage so close to homes was of great concern to neighbors and the neighborhood. At the time, concessions were made by the community and by Centerra that led Centerra to be able to achieve its goal of expansion, tearing down historic homes to build the parking garage tower, and in turn Centerra agreeing to the requested conditional zoning for the Red Gate for a much-needed daycare center and a buffer between the parking garage and homes. This compact, as many have referred to it, was memorialized in conditional zoning the applicant's representatives requested and proffered for that zoning change. As a result, 20 years ago, Centerra got its expansion, it got its parking garage, and the neighborhood lost historic homes and the residential zoning. But it did get an agreed-to residential compatible buffer in the form of a much-needed daycare center. But now, Centerra wants to take that too. All seem to agree that changing the zoning to office space is something that would not have been approved then, and it should not be approved now. This is a residential street with the historic district, and it is important that the agreed-to residential compatible buffer on Redgate Avenue be maintained. The promise and agreement to have a neighborhood daycare on that site has not been forgotten by Centerra's neighbors, and this daycare continues to be much needed. It is remarkable that Centerra, as one of the largest employers in the city, does not provide daycare to its employees. And now it wants to abandon its promise and convert to yet more office space this site, specifically built as a daycare with little sinks and little toilets. While there are lots of available office space in the area, most parents will confirm there are few available daycare spaces. However, if Centerra wants to renege on its promises and this agreement, then many have suggested that the site should return to its original residential zoning, perhaps even be part of the historic district as its neighbors across the street are. The simple fact is now Centerra is coming back to the table to try to take more than it ever bargained for. We should not be asked to compromise on a compromise, and no good neighbor would ask us to do so. As such, for these reasons and for the reasons outlined in our written submission, we've asked you to vote to support both our neighborhood and the city manager's vision of having a city where neighbors build neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hofer, Robert, is it Hofer? I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you for having me this evening. My name is Robert William Hofer. I live at 2404 Millwood Road in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Centerra Norfolk General Hospital Administration has agreed to lease the Discovery Daycare site on Redgate Avenue to the Children's Specialty Group, a medical practice associated with the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters. A lease has been executed, but is contingent upon approval of this change in zoning by the Norfolk City Council. This plan does require approval from the Planning Commission and the Norfolk City Council to amend a zoning condition that limits use of the property to daycare and to allow for use as administrative space. We are seeking your approval for this change. The original application sought zoning appropriate to medical or office uses to ease the transition to another tenant should that become necessary at some point in the future. As you have heard today, we have revised our application to only add use as administrative space to the existing ordinance. We have worked very diligently to engage the community for feedback and support. We want to be good neighbors, and we want Ghent to thrive as a great place to live. Starting back in December, we began to reach out to the community to share our plans and solicit feedback. We attended the Ghent Task Force meeting in early January. We met with the Ghent Neighborhood League leadership on January 31st, 2011. We also met with the West Ghent Civic League on February 15th, 2011. West Ghent voted to offer no opposition to our application. We have heard of a desire for this space to be used as daycare. We have also heard of great concern about using this space to provide mental health or substance abuse services. We have heard of a concern about using this space as medical offices, mostly for the fear of what we may decide to do at some time in the future. Our campus needs this space to be available for use as offices, and we do not plan to use this space for daycare. We had offered to proffer exceptions to the request to exclude possible use for mental health or substance abuse treatment, but ultimately, to eliminate the concern this property would be used to provide mental health services, we revised the application to include administrative offices only. We believe the Redgate building is an appropriate site for administrative offices, and this space will keep normal business hours. There are almost 30 off-street parking spaces available to the property, and all staff working in this location will park in the Centerra Norfolk General CHKD EVMS parking deck, which is just behind the building. This plan will have minimal impact on the Ghent Neighborhood League. Operations within the administrative office will be back office functions in support of the Children's Specialty Group. Back office functions typically include billing, credentialing, accounts payable, medical records, and other functions unrelated to direct patient care. We have, in the amended application, revised the condition to say the premises will be used as administrative offices or for the provision of child care and the provision of related nursery and kindergarten education and before and after school care, and for the provision of health and educational programs directly related to children. We do believe this is a neighborhood-friendly plan. The Planning Commission recommended this change, and we are seeking your support as well.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Henry Condi?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Henry Condi. I live in the 300 block of Colonial Avenue. Well, let me start by saying that I characterize our relationship as friendly and amicable throughout the past years. As a matter of fact, we have participated in some of the projects and the design and colors and so on and so forth. But in this particular issue, it's like it's akin to fences make good neighbors and buffers will kind of preserve the neighborhood quality. I just want to remind, even though it's 20 years ago, that what was put on the table or the price for the current structure was part of the Norfolk historic patrimony or heritage, which is the residences that are now part of Ghent, which, by the way, they're not part of West Ghent. So in that regard, in a similar regard, we have plenty of office spaces throughout Norfolk. And so I think there's opportunity to maintain this as is, serve the community, and serve as a buffer as we had a social agreement, even though it was 20 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Paige Rose?
Good evening, Council Mayor Frame. My name is Paige Rose, and my residence is 524 Graydon Avenue. And regarding the Centerra matter that is in front of us, though it was a 20-year agreement that Centerra entered in with the neighborhood to provide daycare, the need for daycare is still just as strong in the neighborhood, if not stronger, than it was 20 years ago. And as a current mother of a 2-year-old, I know, luckily, I'm a member of a church where I was able to have a spot reserved for me. But currently, the church daycares and religious institutions that do offer daycare have pretty much a full to capacity limit. And currently, I'd say many, if not all, have actually a waiting list at the current time. And I just wanted to also touch on the agreement of 20 years ago, that this was not taken into lightly with the neighborhood. Historic homes were leveled, torn down, forever gone, under the agreement that we would always have a daycare in that site, which the neighborhood feels is compatible with the fabric of the neighborhood. So we are very distressed to hear that this may be changing. We did, of course, have a Ghent Neighborhood League meeting where our Centerra representatives came to speak with us, and there was no support or appetite for this proposed plan. And I know 20 years ago we were told a daycare. Now it seems the language has been rewritten to possibly offer administrative offices only, but it only begs the question 20 years from now, what may it change to then? But currently the need in the neighborhood is a very strong one for daycare, and the site is very well suited, as Ms. McHenry discussed, little toilets, little tables, little chairs, so very little retrofitting would have to be done. And we do understand there was a daycare provider that was initially interested in this site, but the discussions, I believe, were terminated by Centerra. So I would urge the council and Mayor Frame to please support the neighborhood. We actually have received vociferously against approving this proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Susanna Ott.
Good evening, Susanna Ott, 711 Colonial Avenue. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to express our views. The neighbors, my main concern is as a neighborhood. The neighbors across from the site used to look at a row of other historic properties. If Centerra had not made a strong argument 20 years ago for a much-needed daycare facility, we doubt that the residential zoning would ever have been changed in the first place. So we feel that there should be a special effort, not just to protect Ghent, but to protect all of Norfolk's historic districts. And across from this building and this property is a district. To lose a block of homes was already a sacrifice, but to have done it for only another office building instead of a family and employee-friendly daycare would be a real shame. When visitors come to see Norfolk and Ghent, they don't come to admire hospitals and office buildings. So please vote or consider your vote to preserve the history that we have left in Norfolk. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mrs. Blake, Irene Blake is here, who lists herself as an opponent, but does not wish to speak. Is that right, Ms. Blake? Okay, thank you. All right, that concludes the list of folks who have signed up to speak. Is anybody?
Can I just make a comment? And I've worked with Joan. We have argued, and Centerra started with wanting to put some mental health facilities in there, and we got with them and said that's not going to work. And then they were going to put a working doctor's office, as I understand it, and we said no, that's not going to work. And they have gone back. I don't think we can tell them they've got to put a daycare in there if the daycare providers are not out there. I think they've been very flexible working with the Neighborhood League, and I know Joan and I have had long discussions, and we just have to agree to disagree on this. They're not changing the outside of the building. It's I was not here when they tore down the historic buildings. I don't remember. I wouldn't have think it would have been that easy if they were, in fact, on the historic registry or whatever. But I think they've been pretty flexible about trying to meet the concerns of the Ghent Neighborhood League. Originally West Ghent, I know it's not in West Ghent, but they weighed in and were against a couple of the proposals early on, and were now satisfied or voted not to oppose what they're doing now. We're not physically changing the building. We're not going to have a traffic problem. I think we having people in the building, people in the neighborhood helps. The proximity to King's Daughters is very important to them, obviously, for the medical space. So I am supportive of it. I do understand the concerns of the Ghent Neighborhood League, and I just don't see any downside really to this, just to try to hold them to something they said 20 years ago. It's the same building, because the same structure you're looking at, probably less cars. So I am going to be supportive of it, but I do understand the sentiments of the neighborhood, and we've had a lot of discussions on this and many other issues, but I wanted to let you know how I felt on it.
Similarly, I've also had many discussions with both sides on this. Frankly, I suspect if I'd been here 20 years ago, I would not have supported the fact that historic homes would have been sacrificed. I wasn't here 20 years ago. Now we're left with a daycare center that is not a historic site. And very frankly, I'm a little troubled even by the idea of it being a buffer, but I mean, it's okay. I was very disappointed that Centerra chose to not support a daycare center. Frankly, having working with nurses and Centerra and EVMS that desperately need child care for their nurses and residents, I think this was not a good move for them, and I think that would have placed them as being much more healthy employers. So I stated that to Bill, and I stated it to the administrator of Centerra. But we're not in the business of forcing companies which way they're going to be able to go. And since we just have a building there that's going to have very little traffic and it's not going to make an impact on the neighborhood, I will support Centerra's proposal.
If I could just say one thing, I was actually here 20 years ago.
I'm
the only one.
His fault.
And it's actually, the properties that came down were in terrible shape. I mean, it was not a credit to the neighborhood under any set of circumstances. And the parking garage relieved a great deal of stress on the neighborhoods of people parking in the neighborhoods, which was always a problem. And properties that, the building that's there now is actually in great shape, and as buffers go, was a pretty good buffer, and it hides that the parking garage. And so I'd like to see this stay, as I thought a daycare was an absolutely wonderful use of that property. But like Terry said, 20 years later, cities change. It's a living thing. A city's a living thing, and 20 years later, I think is at least a fair use of the property for 20 years. And if they choose now to do this use, which I really think is less intrusive in the neighborhood by far. You can't go back and put the old buildings back, and so this administrative use seems to be a fairly low-intensive use of the property. So,
just so I can make sure, and I apologize, just to make absolutely sure, if this becomes an office, it will not be for patients. No. Is that how I understand it?
It can never be for patients without coming back to us for another change. It
And
can only be for administrative office.
And this is not a way to circumvent to get CSB that was looking at this and the neighborhood did not want it. And
No.
Absolutely not.
And is there the option, did I hear the option for education or daycare to stay in the, is that still an option?
Yes,
Still in the
added use as an administrative space as an option to the existing condition.
So you could scale down the facility use of daycare and add in administrative use in that same building and possibly have dual?
I'm not going to do that, Angela.
They're going to have offices, but they haven't taken away the ability to go back to a daycare.
Okay.
In the future.
So if they decide the toilets are too short and they want to go back to daycare, they can.
Okay. All right.
Call the roll.
I have an ordinance captioned, an ordinance to rezone property located at 835 Redgate Avenue in order to change conditions on property zone conditional I and 2, dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel?
My vote's not going to matter on this, but I feel uncomfortable with it. If there's a neighborhood that is this uncomfortable with that, I haven't been sold exactly on the plans for Centerra, and I wish there was more information. Somebody on the planning commission objected to it as well. So I wish it was, I wish Centerra had worked with the neighborhood a little bit more. Maybe they could have, but my vote's no.
Dr. Whibley?
Actually, Tommy, there was lots of information available, and the Centerra really did work with the neighborhood. So I don't, which way you vote, I will tell you that in fact was available. I vote yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Wynn?
Yes.
Mr. Frame?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Public hearing 2, please.
Public hearing 2 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on April 19, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of John Williams to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Norfolk 1992 on a text amendment to add kennel with no outdoor runs as a permitted use in the Courtney Avenue Urban Multiple Use District, and by a 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval. I have an ordinance for that caption, an ordinance to amend and reordain Section 10-13.4 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Norfolk 1992 so as to permit kennel as a permitted use in the Courtney Avenue Urban Multiple Use District. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protegero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. Public hearing 3, please.
Public hearing 3 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on April 19, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of Cornick Place Condominiums Unit Owners Association, Inc., to change the conditions of the existing conditional R12 multiple density, multiple family district on property located at 1405 Dewar Road. By a 6-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
Mr. Mastracco is here to answer questions if there are any. Christina Pagano, is she here?
Yes, I'm also here to answer questions.
Okay. And would, Christina, you are the Civic League president?
Yes, sir.
And you're supportive?
Yes, the Civic League had 2 separate meetings. The last meeting was February 17th, reiterating. Sorry.
Was it your dad I went to high school with?
Yes.
That was back when you were knocking those houses
Jeez,
down.
I won't name the year. We had 2 separate meetings. The last meeting being February 17th, 2011, where we reiterated our support. And there's
Showing
no
my age,
opposition.
Christina.
I'm sorry?
I'm showing my age here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Civic League?
The Lake Taylor Civic League.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough group. I mean, and
You
then,
look like a lovely lady.
I mean, that's.
She didn't look tough.
I know. And is it Gross, Mr. Gross, Tom Gross is here doesn't want to speak, but is a proponent as well. Okay, this has been a,
The members of the Civic League and the residents there to stand up who are supporting
Please.
the application.
Thank you.
Been a serious change of heart.
How many people live in Cornick, our condominium? Yeah, they all are. We got that. They took over the Civic League, is what they did, because this has been a hotly contested issue.
Often on
Okay.
finance, the coup.
That's what you get. Okay. Okay.
Just so I can make sure. Vince, are you there?
Yes, sir.
This is not to increase the density per se, it's just to take a condition.
That's it.
It has to do with age-related sales, which is 5 and up. We should never gone there anywhere. Anyway. Yeah. All right, call the roll.
I have an ordinance captioned, an ordinance to rezone property located at 1405 Dewar Road in order to change conditions on property zoned conditional R12. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protegero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, thank you. Thank you all for coming down. Public hearing 4, please.
Public hearing 4 scheduled for this day pursuant to action of council on April 19, 2011, under state law. Public notice having been inserted in the local press by the city clerk on the application of Terrence Simmons to change the zoning from R11 moderate density multiple family district to conditional R9 one family district on property located at 735 through 743 Fremont Street. And by 5-0 vote, Planning Commission recommends approval.
And Mr. Simmons is here to answer questions if we have any. Mr. Simmons, are you here? Yes, I am. Okay, and Jerisha Simmons as well is here? Okay. There's no one else signed up to speak, so you can call the roll.
We have an ordinance captioned, an ordinance to rezone property located at 735 and 743 Fremont Street from R11 to conditional R9. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. The consent agenda. Would any member of the council like any one of these matters considered separately? You also have the legal debt margin statement in here as well, so. All right, call the roll.
Approve the consent agenda, Mr. Burford.
Just want to thank the administration for getting these gym lights off. Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Frame?
Aye. R1.
R1 is an ordinance accepting with appreciation the donation of vinyl-coated chain-link fencing and the materials for the installation thereof from the Ocean View Business Association and delegating to the Department of Recreation, Parks and Open Space and Office of Facility Maintenance the authority to coordinate and approve installation of the fencing for the Maple Avenue Dog Park. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye. R2.
An ordinance accepting the conveyance of temporary construction easements for the right-of-way improvement project along Cape Henry Avenue.
Mr. Montague, Dan Montague.
Good evening, council, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Jones. My name is Dan Montague. I live at 4605 Quick Street here in the city of Norfolk. The 25 years I've lived in Sherwood, you guys have let the density of the population drastically increase. There are still no sidewalks from one end of Cape Henry to the other. I don't know what you're planning to do, but until you drop some pipe in the drainage ditches for drainage and put some sidewalks on top of those pipes, people are still going to walk down Cape Henry, sometimes 2 and 3 abreast. You have, the only thing I've ever seen you do other than the density of population there, you have repaved it and put some speed bumps in it, but still people do not have any place at all to walk from one end of Cape Henry to the other. And the stores are at the other end of Cape Henry, you know, the grocery store and whatever. And so therefore, you know, like I say, I don't know what you're going to do, but you need to do exactly what I said. Put some pipe in the drainage ditches and put some sidewalks on top of it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, call the roll.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
I vote aye, and but I've also agree with that Dan that we should have done something with Cape Henry Avenue before we allowed those homes to be built there. I vote aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Frame?
Aye. R3.
An ordinance permitting Michelle Schenk to encroach into city property at 3236 East Ocean View Avenue with a wood walkway and stairs.
And Ms. Schenk is here? Okay. All right, call the roll, please.
Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Wynn?
Aye.
Frame?
Aye. Thank you for coming down. R5.
4, Mr. President.
4, sorry, R4.
An ordinance approving an institutional development plan for a new medical facility and maintenance building on property located at 6161 Kempsville Circle. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R5.
An ordinance accepting a $110,684 grant award from the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services Fiscal Year 2010 Department of Homeland Security Grant Program and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the funds for the purchase of night vision equipment for the Norfolk Police Department and for maintenance and warranty fees to support the Norfolk Police Department's Crime Records Information Sharing Network. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R6.
An ordinance to set forth the redistricting principles to be applied with respect to the alteration of ward and superward lines following the release of the 2010 census. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiero?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye, R7.
An ordinance accepting $56,315 from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management under FY 2010 Department of Defense funding and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the funds for the Norfolk Fire Rescue to participate in the Hampton Roads full-scale exercise May 17 through 19, 2011. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn? Mr. Frame?
Aye. R8.
An ordinance accepting $31,769 from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management under FY 2009 Department of Homeland Security funding and appropriating and authorizing the expenditure of the funds for Norfolk Fire Rescue to participate in the Hampton Roads full-scale exercise from May 17 through 19, 2011. Dispense with the charter requirement for reading the ordinance and adopt. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Mr. Smigiel,
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
I have one additional item, Mr. President, and that matter is a letter from the city auditor requesting confirmation of Mr. Timothy Haycox as an assistant city auditor effective May 9, 2011. This confirmed the appointment. Mr. Burford?
Aye.
Mr. Protogiru?
Aye.
Mr. Riddick?
Aye.
Aye.
Dr. Whibley?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Wynn?
Aye.
Mr. Frame?
Aye.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, that concludes the formal portion of tonight's agenda.